It begins with leadership. It begins with leadership that has a vision or a passion about an issue. So this organization certainly has leadership, has a vision about what it would like to do about the issue of youth and the propensity for getting into trouble and how to try and keep them out of trouble with the police. The interaction between police and youth, unfortunately, oftentimes is in response to crimes or disturbances that youth are involved in. So it's been a reactive interaction. A lot of officers working in the field, meaning working in patrol, tend to be the youngest members of the department. And since we hire police officers at age 20, 21, 22, in many respects they're still young people themselves, that only a few years beyond what we would describe as a juvenile or a youth. And their tolerance of some of the youthful behavior, the boisterousness, all the things that kids do, ironically is probably less tolerant than the public at large. And it's an issue that we really don't train to or speak to. But what also happens is a significant part of their workload is in dealing with youth-generated calls to 911 for gang hanging on the corner, kids drinking in the park, kids out raising hell, and oftentimes that the interaction with youth are in response to those types of calls in which they are seeking to prevent the kids from doing something that the kids would like to do, and that kids do. American policing, since the early 1990s, has been focused very heavily on the community policing philosophy, which is focused on the prevention of crime, and the prevention of crime by focus on problem solving and partnership. Youth crime and youth disorder is an area that can benefit significantly from a prevention-focused set of initiatives. Get them while they're young, change the behavior, control the behavior, and change it while they're young before it's too late and they're on the road to a life of crime. Very few police departments do training that I'm aware of that is youth-specific. In other words, how to interact with youth. We've only recently begun to train officers to deal with victims, to deal with the elderly, to deal with domestic violence, the myriad of things that they have to deal with. But the area of youth interaction is probably one that there's very little formalized training. In terms of budgeting, usually reflects priorities, and this not being a priority, it probably doesn't receive any budgeting of any significance. As to my most recent police department, most contemporary experience, the Los Angeles Police Department, the department spends millions of dollars each year on youth-oriented activities, Explorer program, boot camp program, support of police magnet high schools in Los Angeles Unified School District. But there is no money in the budget for youth-specific related activities other than for youth officers who are usually engaged in dealing with the investigation of youth-related crime. So much of policing over the last 20 or 30 years has been focused on de-escalation of conflict rather than just coming in and behaving in a way that oftentimes escalates a seemingly minor situation to a more significant one. So it would be reflective of the idea that if a significant part of your problem in a police organization is involving youth, and a lot of the problem with youth is of a minor nature, if you will, that can be dealt with less significant enforcement action. And by that I mean just the way you approach kids, the way you interact with them. Training in that environment would certainly be, training to handle that environment would certainly be beneficial. When I was still in policing, I was a significant proponent of the idea that policing is not a cost, it's an investment. And if we're successful at reducing crime, disorder, fear, communities benefit, individuals benefit. And similarly, looking at this issue, investment in trying to reduce negative interaction with young people, reduce negative behavior by young people that attracts the police, can pay great dividends in that so much of what police do is responding to issues involving young people. And if you can reduce the numbers of those incidents, that's an investment that's paying big dividends. And in fact, some of those savings could in fact be used to invest in more positive interaction with young people, like the Explorer programs and the boot camps and the involvement in the police magnet high schools. So you take money out of one bucket, the resources out of one bucket that's dealing with enforcement, and focus it on into another bucket, another area that's focusing on the building of positive relationships and seeing police as role models and police seeing young people as people worthwhile to spend time with to try and keep them out of trouble.